Right now you're looking at PracticeAdmin Schedule Manager. This is where you would go to schedule all your patient appointments in PracticeAdmin. Right now we're just looking at a one provider view of the schedule, but if I had multiple providers or multiple office locations, I can view the schedule multiple schedules at a time. If I just select the ones I want to view and click OK, as you can see they show up side by side, and you'll create your own color customization when you set up your template. At each provider, each office location can have its own background color that you're seeing here. You could even set this up by exam room, so you can really customize your schedule to fit to your office's needs. Now I'm going to come back to just a one provider schedule. So we're back to Dr. Carroll's schedule. Now I can also view a week at a time, a 5-day or a 7-day week view of the schedule. So if I'm open on the weekends, I can say show a full week, and we get a Saturday and Sunday schedule as well. So I'm going to come back to just a 1-day view of the schedule. And you're going to set up a template, and every color that you're seeing here, you're going to choose when you've customized these templates. So we have a lunch period blocked out in this provider's template. Provider is off from lunch from 12 to 1. And all these colors that you're seeing here, these are driven by the type of appointment. So follow-ups are this teal color. We have injections, new patient office visit, blood pressure check. That's what's being driven by those colors. It's the type of appointment. And when you set up your template, you're going to get to choose which color you want for all your different appointment types. In that first glance, I'm just going to see the patient's last names and what they're coming in for. But if I hover over the appointment, that's where I can see all the appointment details. I can see the patient's phone number, balance of the patient, their insurance. I can even see any notes if there's any appointment notes. You can also verify eligibility in here. It could be something that you do on demand as far as eligibility checks, or you can have it automated eligibility check like an overnight job. You can set it up so the system's automatically verifying the eligibility of your patients overnight, so when you're coming in the next morning, all your results are in front of you. Also, if I come up here and say show template, I can actually see this provider's template. So this provider's template is built in 15-minute time slots, which you can customize whether you see patients every 15 minutes, 10 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever your office needs is what you can set up in your template. But this particular provider sees patients every 15-minute slots, and then from 8 to 8:45, this provider wants to allow 2 patients double booking the time slots. So you can also set up your template to double book and triple book. Now let's say this provider did want to double book an appointment down here in the afternoon, even though the template just says one standard appointment. You can even override that. So if I go to double book the appointment, what we call conflict will pop up. It'll just explain to me, hey, you're double booking this appointment slot. I can acknowledge the conflict and continue on. So that way you're never going to accidentally double book and triple book appointments, but you do have that that option to override the system if you want to make exceptions. So I'm going to come back in here and take it where I don't see the template, take that off. And that's really the user's preference. So as a user, I can choose to work off of the schedule where I don't see my provider's template, or I can choose to work off it where I do see the template. So if I have multiple providers have different schedules, different days of the week, maybe I would like to see the template to remind me, or you can work off it where you don't. So that's, like I said, that's just a user's preference. So real quick, I'll show you how easy it is to schedule and reschedule an appointment. So let's say we have a patient who wants to come in tomorrow. So I'm going to come over here on the calendar and jump over to tomorrow. And let's say this patient wants to come in at 11 a.m. tomorrow. I'm just going to double click on this 11 a.m. time slot. And I'm going to look up my patient. Let's just say that we're scheduling a patient or an appointment for an existing patient. So I'll pull up Anna Williams. Now, the only thing I need to do to schedule this appointment is to choose what the patient's coming in for, and we call those appointment types. And you're going to customize this list of all these different appointment types that you see. You'll customize this. And this is where it's driven by the color. So as you're customizing it, you're choosing the color for each of these appointment types. All right, so let's say this patient's coming in for an annual exam. So I'm going to select annual. And by the way, this check now button, this is if I wanted to verify the eligibility on demand. And you can also have authorizations on file for this patient, and it'll also tell me if the patient has any existing active pre-authorizations. And that's the only thing I need to do in order to schedule an appointment. So I'm going to go ahead and save and close. So the only thing I had to do was choose what the patient was coming in for, and we call those appointment types. So here we have Williams in here for their annual. I'm going to hover over it. So it's that easy to schedule the appointment. Now let's say this patient changed her mind. Let's say now she wants to come in on Friday. So it's really easy to reschedule an appointment. It's kind of like a copy and paste feature. I'm going to right click on the appointment and copy it, and then I'm going to paste it on the calendar where I want it to go. So I'm going to right click. Here are my options. After I right click, I'm going to say reschedule. So this is like copying it. And I'm going to jump over to Friday on the calendar. And let's say she wants to come in at 1 p.m. on Friday. I'm going to right click, move it here. So this is like pasting it. Now this is just confirming my action. So I'm going to say yes. And it was that easy to reschedule her appointment. And hover over it, see all the details. I'm going to right click over her appointment again just to show you all those options you have when you right click. I can track patients throughout the office. Maybe they're in the waiting room now, in the exam room. Maybe they've checked out. Maybe I've confirmed this appointment. You can also have your appointments automatically confirmed for you. We partnered up with a vendor that can do automated appointment reminder phone calls, text messages, and emails. So if that's something that you're interested in, we can definitely get you in touch with our partner that we have interfaced with our scheduler. Another really neat feature I like about this scheduler is this View History button. I'm going to click on it. I can see every time a change was made on the appointment, the day and time of that change, and by which user. So if you ever have any discrepancies in the office, like who scheduled this appointment, who rescheduled it, you could just right-click over an appointment and see exactly what went on. Next, I'm going to go over this reports area. You do have a whole scheduling report area where you can run scheduling reports. You can run maybe the daily schedule to put on the doctor's desk for the day, things like that. What I like the best about this reports area is this unbilled appointments report. This is like a safety net report for you to make sure that you've billed out all your appointments. So you can run this daily, weekly, monthly, whatever your workflow is. And basically it'll look through all the appointments and then look for charges for that date of service. And if there isn't a charge entered in the system for that patient for that date of service, it'll report that patient back to you. And that way you can make sure all your appointments have been billed out and you haven't missed any. And that is just a quick overview of PracticeAdmin's Schedule Manager.